Hi, welcome to Tree Impressions. Today we've decided to do our podcast at Katie O'Brien's. We're getting ready to watch the NCAA Wrestling Championships this afternoon and decided that we would get into the topic of something Rusty kind of came across.
Yeah. Well, before that, we will give you our predictions at the end of the broadcast, okay? But I looked up a term called ruse in urbe, which simply means the countryside in the urban setting. So the ruse would be I guess we could say the fake impression, the false impression of a countryside within the urban setting of a civilization.
Yeah.
So where most people dwell, you bring in plants, you bring in whatever.
When you brought this topic to me, what I found the most fascinating part of it was ruse. Now,
Sure.
Obviously, this is a Latin word. I don't know anything about Latin, but I know that word makes me think of trickster, of tricking. And now, when I think of landscapes, oftentimes, yes, we're trying to mimic nature constantly. Our parks, Google has unveiled a rainforest in one of their facilities where their employees work.
Right.
So when you said
Ruse
in urbe, man, it just got me thinking of so much of our urban landscape, our parks. Mm-hmm. Lately, I've been, our Shinrin Yokus, our forest bathing. We've explored so many Portland parks.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I digress. Ruse in urbe was this idea of bringing in a natural setting into the urban setting in order to maybe what I think to distract,
Of course.
the population from the constant pressure of day-to-day trading and buying and this and that, and then you could go and forest bathe, recover.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. So I think there was a negative connotation when I read some of the example sentences that they used to define the word. So in the dictionary, they said the beguiling ruse and urbe of the park, which meant they added too many false impressions of the countryside to the park. Mm-hmm. So adding false impressions is the ruse, of the countryside to the urban setting. Now, obviously, people have yards, and a lot of it's bought up by grass. Today, we did plant a tree, and it helped buy up some space and help convince the homeowner
that the
ruse of them being in the countryside.
And the objective for that was there was a power pole and a neighboring house, and so
right place.
You kind of want to. It seems like landscapes in the urban setting, you want to try to trick the mind. Now, where I think some people may go wrong is not putting forth enough thought and consulting of where they plant, when they plant, why they plant any kind of tree or shrub, in order to help maximize that illusion of being somewhere where you're not.
Right, and you don't have to do this in a yard. You can do this in your home with indoor plants.
Oh, yeah.
That a lot of people we were laughing about earlier have a hard time having because of the kill factor.
The kill factor. The quote-unquote black
but it's
thumb.
okay, right? They're part of the carbon process.
I think, a lot of people, when I consult with them, they're usually ashamed or something going on where it's like, hey, I'm really sorry, and it's like, don't apologize. Now if done properly, that plant that has succumbed to necrosis can get put back into the food chain and promote another plant, and thus you learn it's
just don't quit.
Right.
I wasn't going to ask you the number of plants that have perished under your care.
A number.
But you
and,
say...
And you know what? Sadly...
You remember each one, right?
I do. I remember a lot of them. And sadly, a few of them were plants that I really, really thought, no way. This is the perfect situation for this plant.
It didn't work
Perfect.
out.
It didn't work out. Now, so many variables, right?
Yeah.
So many variables.
Yeah.
So many and I only can control so much because ultimately I'm putting it in a place that I don't own. I go home somewhere else.
Factors like soil condition and how long it's been sitting in the pot. You know, those are the roots
Type of
going to be
plant.
able to take off in the environment that it's going to be placed in.
The client today
Absolutely.
consulted with us and wanted to plant 2 magnolias in this one spot. And I said, no. That's going to be way too much. 1 magnolia. Obviously, she probably had a budget, okay, and wanted to maximize her budget and thought, 2 big trees would be great.
Right.
And what I think people need to recognize is like, yes, get that 1 big tree and then consider understory and shrubs next.
Right.
So we can look at so this is going to bloom once a year. Now let's look at maybe another plant like a crepe myrtle that might bloom at a different time of year. And then we look at some understory shrubs like forsyth that's going to bloom at a different type of year. And if we can get these all to work together, then wow, you're not going to notice the street in front of you.
No, not at all.
Right?
And the sound barrier they're going to provide, the illusion they're going to provide, you'll be able to go and sit out and enjoy the comforts of your home.
Yep.
At such a great, and you could do that, I think, in any setting.
Now, planting is always a great thing, and I love introducing new plants to the urban environment. However, take care of the ones that you already have. And maybe accentuate those plants in a positive way, you know. But yes, right tree, right place, super important. And obviously we encourage creating that ruse in people's urban environment.
Yep. Well, we have forest bathing coming up.
Yeah.
You're gonna have it back at Powell?
Yeah, we're going to go back to Powell Butte. We had a wonderful time. We actually saw a hawk eat something on top of this tree branch. It was great. It was fantastic. However, it was only because I had led everybody on a different route that took us probably an extra 1.5 miles. But it was worth it to experience that spot. It was a great time. We're going to go back, but we're going to go a different trail for a new experience, but same place.
Yeah, explore your senses. Learn something about the environment, the trees. Ask some questions.
Yeah.
Get yourself motivated about the natural world around you and how you can incorporate that into your life and your well-being. It's probably just about as important as taking vitamins every day. And health benefits of getting your hands in the dirt, we've talked about in previous podcasts.
Yeah.
And you being the master of your own domain and creating the ruse that you wish to have.
Whoa. All right, deep. And I want to go into that slightly. This podcast probably is a fairly special one in the fact that since our last podcast, between the two of us, we figured out how to get on iTunes.
Yes.
Which took what we considered hacking. We leveled up. We totally leveled up. And so now we can get this podcast out to all of iTunes, which it was an accomplishment. We're kind of patting ourselves on the back. Anyways, so thanks for listening. We appreciate everybody. I want to give a shout out to Stark Street Lawn and Garden, who's taking well care of us and our chainsaws and our surgical tools.
And Training Day?
Training Day. Yep.
Megan Urson. Look them up and see what they're about. It's all about the health and well-being of your physical self. And we're all about the health and well-being of your physical self as it pertains to trees.
You know, we meet so many people, right? We meet so many people on a daily basis. We work with people and their plans and stuff like that. Let us know if you have a business, you'd like it plugged. Give us a shout out. We'd be happy to promote your business on our podcast. And
look us up at tillistree.com.
And we look forward to talking with you.
Night.
Good night.